government-funded homeschooling, money regulated by the government, scholarships. We're going to talk about this in this video. Why? Because you guys are asking me this a lot. I'm getting messages, text, all the things. So I'm going to share with you my thoughts. I'm going to share with you what's going on. Now, if you are not in the state of Florida, this may not apply to you. However, it may, because our governor, Ron DeSantis, is running for president. And you may want to have your ears open, because this is going to be one of the things that he's going to be talking about during the debates, I'm sure. What's happened down here? There's just this new program this year. It is called the PEP. It's brand new, and it is a scholarship. The money is funded by Step Up for Students, which is businesses donate to Step Up for Students, and then they send out the money. So Step Up for Students has been around for quite some time in the state of Florida. It provides a scholarship for students with unique abilities that homeschool. Naomi has been on that scholarship. It has been a huge blessing. They also fund students to go to private schools, and there's some other funding, other scholarships available as well. It's great. For students. It gives parents options. So this year there was a new program called the PEP, which was going to fund low-income families that decide to homeschool. And what I mean by low-income families, basically whatever poverty level is, 400% of that is considered low income. So if you have, let's say, a family of 6, you have to make less than approximately $160,000. Of course, you want to look at the rubric. There's a rubric, and then you can kind of compare and contrast. So PEP qualification, quote unquote, 400% of poverty level. So if you decide that you want to apply for the scholarship, let's say you go through Step Up through Students, do the application, and then you get accepted, then the first thing they're going to ask you to do is you have to terminate your child's homeschool program. It scares a lot of people. I mean, come on, we're terminating our homeschool program to be a part of this PEP program. I do want us to also put in perspective that we also have something called umbrella schools in the state of Florida. And in order to be under an umbrella school, you have to terminate your homeschool program as well. So that's something to kind of keep some perspective there. Another thing that the PEP is going to require is that you take a nationally normed test at the end of the year if you want to renew for next year. And there is a list, I believe it's in the handbook, which I'll go ahead and link below, of the tests that qualify, because not all of them do. And if I'm not mistaken, and you please check me on this, a parent can administer it. That's great news. The only problem is that parents and families are really nervous about sending their test scores to a place outside of their own personal home, whether it's Step Up for Students or if it's the government. And I believe it's going to Step Up for Students, but don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure. Either way, you're turning your test scores into somebody other than yourself. Makes a lot of people nervous. I totally get it. I do want to reassure you that as of right now, these test scores are being collected to gather data, because in 5 years, they're going to reassess this PEP program, and they're going to look at the test scores and compare them to public school scores to see if the PEP program is actually functioning well. Obviously, us homeschoolers are going to make higher scores than public school kids, and it's going to look good. And so it's not meant to compare your child from year to year, and it's surely not meant to say, oh, you didn't make a high enough test score, I'm sorry, you don't get the funding anymore, and oh, by the way, you're not allowed to homeschool anymore. That's not what it's about, okay? Even though I hear a lot of parents are saying that. That's not what they're gathering test score data for. There's also a personalized plan that they are having you fill out. It is not scary at all. They just want to know that you have a plan. That's it. It's just data stuff. And it's pretty much check marks. And it's really super short. It's really super short and super easy. You don't even have to think too hard when you fill it out. And the wonderful thing about this is the best part of all of this, is that if you do the PEP and you decide you don't want to do it anymore, you just say, nope, no more. I don't want your money. I'm going to go homeschool. See, here's what happened when it was originally drafted up in Tallahassee. It wanted to change the homeschool laws. It wanted to mess with our homeschool laws. And Brenda Dickinson, which is our lobbyist, like I said, along with some other people, were like, no, We're not messing with these homeschool laws. These homeschool laws are put into place for a certain reason. Believe me when I say to you, there are reasons for every little thing, and I can talk about that later. But the way the homeschool laws are written, they are keeping the future in mind politically, okay? I can talk about that later. But we want to keep those safe, and we want to keep those separate. So let's form a whole new program, because we all know, this is just my opinion, by the way. This part is my opinion, okay? Look, we have this program PEP. It's money, okay, that is being regulated by the government, and even though it's from businesses, the government has some hold, some control in this program. There is some control in there. When it comes to control, you're going to see certain people wanting to flock to that, and they're going to want to change some things with the PEP to make it a little bit more regulated because it's money, okay? We get that. But the good thing is this, they're going to be over here dealing with PEP, and the homeschool laws are untouched, okay? This is all good things. The homeschool laws are safe. And like I said, this is one thing that Brenda Dickinson and a group of people did to keep it safe for us. And this was why Ron DeSantis, when it first went to him, he vetoed it and had it rewritten, okay? Because we want to keep those homeschool laws safe. Now, I did an interview with Miss Brenda Dickinson, and I'm going to, if I didn't mention before, up in the iCards and down in the description box below if you want to find more details. I know there's a lot of things that I'm not going to be talking about in this video that I don't really have the answers to right now, and I don't think there are answers to it right at this current moment, but tomorrow there may be. So I'm going to really highly recommend that you look at the HEF website, H-E-F, Homeschool Education Foundation. You go ahead, there is a forum you can join in. You don't have to pay money, it's free. You can donate money, but you can join the forum for free, and you can just read up on all the little details that are happening from day to day. And I highly recommend that. There's some Facebook groups out there, but HEF, that forum is the place to go for the most up-to-date information and answers to your questions. So link down below, interview in the iCards, and down and below, which you've seen and all the things. So here's where questions start to come in. Should I take, people are asking me, should I take the money or should I not? And honestly, I have to just honestly say, make sure you do your research and understand, like if you're on the fence, make sure you do your research and really understand what's going on politically, government-wise, to know where the money's coming from, how it is being regulated, what does the future hold for this, all these little details, reading up on that HEF website and making your choice based on the information that you gather, not the rumors that you hear from other homeschool moms, because I have heard some rumors that are 100% not true. Just double check everything, and make your decision based on what you think is best for your family. There is a lot to be said about government regulated money and government money in general. The more money they give to you, the more control they have over you. I get that. But what it does come down to, if you don't like the PEP, you can always leave and go back to homeschooling without the scholarship money. You can do that. And the homeschool laws, once again, are safe. It is a very hard call. And if you do decide to do the PEP, don't shame yourself. I do know that there are some organizations, some homeschool organizations, one in particular that I'm thinking of, that will, as of right now, as we speak, not accepting any scholarship money, including this one. It's hard because you do have to be vigilant. The government wants control over every aspect of our life. We all know that. People like to control things. And the more information, the more knowledge, and the more you know, I feel like the more you can push back if you don't like something, and you can make the right decisions for your family. That's why I keep saying be informed, because I think knowledge and information is the biggest tool and the weapon that you have against someone else controlling you. Whether it's a friend, whether it's a neighbor, whether it's a teacher, whether it's anybody. Information is our biggest weapon. And that's one reason we all homeschool in the first place anyway, right? Is because we want our kids to have information and wisdom. wisdom in order to make correct decisions, not being brainwashed, or not being told certain things that we may or may not believe. I mean, we want our children to have wisdom, and I want you to have wisdom when you make these decisions as well. As of right now, I know that when I look at the PEP, I see it as something that has very little regulation. Very little regulation. It doesn't scare me. When I tell you this, that I have seen all the things politically with the education world, there's a pattern, okay? I see the pattern. I see the pattern through history. I also see the pattern from my experience with the school system, how they always are implementing new things and then changing it, and everybody gets mad about it. I mean, there's patterns. They're constantly experimenting with themselves, okay? And I see things morphing. And I also see a lot of the time, they don't have time to come knocking on everybody's door. They don't have the people, the manpower to keep every single person accountable for every little detail of things. So when you do that personalized, what I'm saying is, when you do that personalized education plan that you fill out and Step Up for Students has that information, I wouldn't worry too much. I really doubt they're going to hold you hostage if you don't. And here's the other thing too. Even if you don't meet those needs, you can always say, okay, fine, I don't need the money. I'm going back to the homeschool laws because they didn't touch our homeschool laws. So there's a lot there. There's a lot to think about. The cool thing is though, I am qualified now, and I have been approved by Step Up for Students to be a Choice Navigator. I didn't talk about the Choice Navigators. So the Choice Navigators are optional, not mandatory. It's just basically having an outside party, a certified teacher, be able to come and help consult with you on how to homeschool and how to do things. If you want them, it's optional. The scholarship pays for it too. It's awesome that the scholarship pays for it. So it's just, like I said, having that outside person come in and help navigate you. There are many of us homeschool evaluators that are certified teachers that quit the school system because we wanted to homeschool our kids ourselves. There's many of us becoming Choice Navigators. See, I kind of look at it this way, to be honest. I was put through that public school system. I was taught all the things. I went through it, saw all the crazy things that many people don't get to see, all the bureaucracy and the politics, and I learned a lot. I also learned that I don't agree with a lot of it, and I pulled myself out first and then decided to homeschool my kids. My kids have never stepped foot in a public school institution. I'm pro homeschool, and I'm going to support you however you want to homeschool your kids as a Choice Navigator. It's almost like getting a homeschool consultation from me for free because they pay for it. It's kind of cool. It's really cool, actually. So that's my opinion. Should you take the money? It's up to you. Do I have a problem with people who take the money? No. Do I have people that reject the money? No. Did I take the money? I'm not quite comfortable sharing with whether or not I took the money, just because I want you to make your decision. I know. I'm not answering somebody else's questions. Maybe if you keep bugging me on text messaging and messenger and email, I might divulge that information, but not publicly. So that's it. Feel free to leave comments and down in the description box below, or if you have any updates from the time that this video airs and you have some more updates that I don't talk about in this video, feel free to share them with me. Or if something changed from what I said, feel free to share as well in the comments, or if I said something incorrect, because that does happen too. And a lot of this was my opinion, and based off of the information that I got from Brenda Dickinson, as well as some people on the board with HEF, and as well as reading stuff up on their website. So that's where I got my information, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and it sounds like we have company downstairs, so I'm going to go ahead and sign out, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.